Jonathan Bernier to the Devils. 2 years, $4.125 million. Listen, free agency officially began in earnest at noon Eastern tonight. Goalies going everywhere. Dano, Devils, your team. How about Bernier in between the pipes?
Well, Devils making some moves here, and obviously they were looking for a veteran goaltender, so they get Jonathan Bernier locked up for 2 years. Played very well in Detroit last season, and Mackenzie Blackwood hopefully gets some good tutelage from the veteran as well as some real good support as he's going to need to play some games here as well, EJ, as Mackenzie Blackwood continues to kind of roll into that #1 spot and be a consistent #1 goalie. But he's got a bright future, but you need a goaltender. They tried to add Corey Crawford last season. Obviously, things out of your control happened, and I continue to hope Corey Crawford's doing great. But obviously, they fill that void with Jonathan Bernier, and they hope he's their man, not only to provide that veteran stability and presence and win you hockey games if you're going to compete and be a competitive team. And obviously, that's what they plan on doing this year, or at least getting closer, EJ, to a playoff spot by the addition of Dougie Hamilton and now a veteran goaltender in Jonathan Bernier.
Yeah, well, Jonathan Bernier, the numbers will tell you he did play well numbers-wise in Detroit last year. I'm never always sold on guys that play on teams that are losing and struggling and out of games. When you play well, like, what does that mean in those games when they're more important? How do you play then? But you can see there, .914 save percentage is pretty darn good in Detroit. So we'll see how it plays out. As Dano pointed out, Tommy Fitzgerald, the GM, has been trying to add a veteran backup goalie there. He had Corey Crawford, didn't play out. Now he's got Bernier. And it gives him stability at the position. And, that's what you need. What they really need is for Mackenzie Blackwood to continue to develop and move forward, because he's their most important piece in that duo. Yeah. And for Jonathan Bernier to support him, and when he's called upon, to come in and play well.
And I will say, Tom Fitzgerald has stayed true to his word. He says, we're going to make a splash. We're going to add pieces, some veteran guys to insulate these young players that are up and coming and growing together as a team. Because even though they didn't have a very good record last year in the shortened season, a lot of young players improved their game, got better, got experience. So now he feels it's time. I mean, everybody was impatient at times, and rightfully so, because fans are passionate, saying we got to do this or that. Well, he feels now is the right time to add some guys, some big pieces, some veteran guys, whether it's a goaltender or the big prize, Dougie Hamilton. And that's going to make these young players pretty motivated, pretty excited to see that they want to get better quickly.
And, the other thing, Dano, we were talking off the air about the idea that, the Devils want to make a splash. I mean, they've probably wanted to make a splash every year. But, you have to get someone to say yes. Yeah. The Devils have had cap room, and they've had money to offer guys. But at the end of the day, if the players see other places to go, that's what they do.
And also timing, EJ.
Of course.
As well. It wasn't time the last couple of seasons, in my humble opinion, as far as where the team was at. Well, now you're seeing some of these young players start to get better. And that does entice some veteran free agents as well, saying, no, they could be a real good team in a couple of years, possibly. So it gives them a little more motivation. And obviously, the almighty dollar talks. Yeah. We know that. Let's face it. But now was the time, they felt, from ownership, and they said, listen, when it's time, we will make a splash, spend some money. But you don't just spend to the cap to spend to the cap, depending on where your organization is at the time. The last couple of years, in my opinion, they weren't where they needed to be to spend all kinds of money and just plug holes.
So they wouldn't have signed Dougie Hamilton last year?
Probably not. Really? I feel that way, yes. Probably not. I don't think it was the time.
I agree with you, but I'm just saying that if he would have said yes, they would have done it. The question is getting the guy to say yes, and they got Dougie.
Maybe he wouldn't have said yes last year either.
That's right. We don't know that. We don't know that.
But I'm just saying the timing of it all.
It's better now than it would have been.
It's better now than it was the last couple of years.